Hello, everyone. How we doing? Happy Thursday. Almost Friday. How about that? We turn down this sick-ass music. What is up, y'all? Oh, my God. Dylan, I'm so sorry. I forgot to put the badges in. I've been so busy doing other shit. It's completely slipped my mind. I'm so sorry. Y'all, well, double shout out to Dylan0114, who created these wonderful sub badges for us, and I keep forgetting to put them in. Also, Alteron, I'm the worst because I forgot to listen to the recommendation that you gave me again, too. I'm the worst, y'all. I really need to take a more, what's it called? The active stance on my reminders. It is going. Thank you for the Prime sub, Tor. Much appreciated. I promise you, I'm going to carve it into my arms here to do this. In fact, you know what? Let me put it in all caps in my little thing, because I've been promising the two of you that I would check this shit out. I'm going to say, wait, suggestion, and put in Dylan's sub badges. I promise by the next one. I promise by the next one it's going to be in there. and I will listen to it. And if I don't, we'll literally do it on stream. Yo, Twiz, thank you for the gifted subs. How's the volume levels, y'all? Is it too high, too low? Ooh, boy. Oh, looks like everyone was guessing at the music. Thank you so much for the sub, Ultron. 3 months. Thank you very much. All right, anyone, I'm going to let you guys, if you want to, give it a couple more guesses, then I'll let you know. It's somewhat obscure for a certain type of game player. You would know this. It's, I don't want to say too much. Oh, wait, no, Finn had it. It's definitely Honey Honey by ABBA, I'm pretty sure. We'll let it run. I figure by now, actually, you guys have been listening to it for, what, 10 minutes? So if you don't know it by now, pretty unlikely. This song... Alright, here's your hint. Y'all know that my handle used to be Belmont Boy. That is a reference to Castlevania. This is not a Castlevania song, but it's about as close as you can get without being a Castlevania song. Hopefully that helps. I'll let you stew on that for half a second, and then I'll let you know. It's from a different game that is not a Castlevania game, but it's one that I do highly recommend. Yeah! Brise. Am I pronouncing that correctly? Breeze got it. It is Bloodstained, Ritual of the Night, which is a very fun Metroidvania game. If you are into Metroidvanias, I do highly recommend it. I think a sequel just got announced, which is really cool because the first one... Are anyone familiar with Bloodstained? Oh, Curse of the Moon is fantastic. I would say that Curse of the Moon is actually better. Curse of the Moon doesn't have quite as lofty of a set of expectations because, you know, Curse of the Moon is more like a classic linear Castlevania style game. Ritual of the Night is a full-on, you know, Metroidvania, so it's much bigger. It is really fun. It's really great. I really recommend it. There are definitely elements of Ritual of the Night where you can tell it was a bit rough around the edges. So I'm really excited for 2 to see if... Or just see what they do after, you know, building out their entire experience making the first one. Anyway, y'all aren't here for that. You're here for Skyrim, and it's not Murder, She Wrote. That's a great guess. You know, Castlevania, Bloodstained, Murder, She Wrote, they're all in the same, you know, bin as far as categorization goes. So, y'all, it's been a while since we last spoke. I've been hard at work on a bunch of stuff. It's kind of hard for me to even remember what was working and what... Oh, let's see. The last time that we were hanging out, we were trying to fix an issue with the faces, I believe. Yeah, that's right. It was the crash. So I got an update there. Hello, Archmage. Here, let me go ahead and let's just dive right in, because I have a shorter stream today. I have a friend coming to visit who I don't get to see very often, so I will be streaming for about 2 hours instead of 3. But because of that, I'm going to try and jam in as much gameplay as possible, because I got some cool stuff to show off this time. So, main things I did in between the last stream and this one. The primary change, I think, is that we have a functioning, brand new character creation process that you will see in a moment. We're going to do that together. Let me go ahead. Also, how sick is this music, right? A quick little summary of Bloodstained. Bloodstained is by Igarashi, who is basically the producer and the designer on, like, many of the most beloved Metroidvanias, right? So Symphony of the Night, I believe Aria of Sorrow, definitely Dawn of Sorrow, maybe Order of Ecclesia, I'm not sure about that one. But he's just, you know, in many ways kind of the father of that style of Castlevania. A little while back, he left Konami to create his own company, and Bloodstained Ritual of the Night was going to be his first debut Metroidvania outside of Konami. It was kickstarted. It's been, as far as I can tell, a commercial and generally critical success. The only exception to the critical success is that the Switch version was really kind of not great on release. I don't know if that's better now, but I would recommend playing it on PC if you're going to play it. It's really, really cool, and the music's great. It's a lot of fun. If you've played any of the Metroid Castlevania games, if you've played specifically Aria of Sorrow and Dawn of Sorrow, which are among my favorite Castlevania games ever, you will find a lot that's familiar, and it's a lot of fun. Yo, level 1 hype train emote. I don't know what that means, but sounds great. Anyway, let's go ahead and let me pause this real fast. That is Voyage of Promise. It's the song from the first level in Bloodstained, if y'all are curious. Okay, now let me crank back up the volume here. So we got our delicious Skyrim audio. Hello, Monique. How you doing? Thank you all for joining me. I don't know if I said that already. To be honest, I'm a little bit nervous for this stream because I've been working on a lot of stuff, and I'm fingers crossed that it's going to work. But, it seems to be. So one important bit here is that I have isolated and removed the cause of that weird startup crash that, we kept experiencing, like, relatively... Oh, sorry, hold on. Stretch. Relatively frequently. Doesn't mean it still won't crash, but, you know, it's not going to crash because of that. Nice. Monique, Stellaris and RimWorld are both incredible, from what I understand. Because of the complexity. Oh, whoops. That's my B. I actually did. Okay, it's going to get mad at me for that. That's fine. It's actually good that it did, because we need that. One caveat, I should say, is that I was testing some of these other Northbourne NPC mods, because that's related to the crash from the last stream, but not the crash that I was actually talking about a moment ago. I'll explain that in a moment. So the crash that I'm talking about, the one where, you know, it was from like 2 streams ago, where about halfway through the startup process, it either would crash or wouldn't, and it's very difficult to diagnose because it's not consistent. That turned out to be the widget add-on for Dirt and Blood, which is really strange. Something about the way it was trying to load its profiles was kind of gnarly. I've seen other people reporting issues on the mod page, so it is precedented, we'll say. Thank you so much for the sub, Gaxpackle. 4 months. Thank you so much for 4 months. The crash from the last one we kind of figured out by the end of the stream, right? It's been a real saga. I'll explain that one in a moment as well. So, as some of you might remember, I've been trying very, very hard to make it so that so that the high poly head shows up in character creation, right? I've been focusing a lot on the new player experience, on character creation. We'll see a little bit of that in a second. I really want players to have just a beautiful time creating their character and choosing their backstory and blah, 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 blah. So we're going to see that in a quick second. And we'll see also kind of the issue that we encountered in the last stream. I'm just going to give these startup operations a little bit of breathing room. Chances are they're already done. It just takes a second for the messages to resolve. It actually really doesn't matter if they do or don't. So we're going to go ahead and end it. Start our character creation. So the first thing you'll notice here is that Miss Lady has some weird eyebrow stuff going on, right? And if we change races, you will find that this is true for all of the races. Well, this one's okay. Lucky, though. Most of them, if you try to, you can see, look, the eyebrows kind of like floating off her head a little bit. So the reason for this, yes, it's the latest fashion. Everyone is shaving off parts of their eyebrows. The reason for that, what is up, CP? How you doing, brother? Yeah, Steam Workshop is rough, Monique. It's cool, don't get me wrong. I like the accessibility, but it doesn't really work for a lot of mods, or a lot of games, rather. So before I get ahead of myself, as I'm wont to do, rambling like a madman, let me kind of walk you guys through the main thing that I've been working on, the thing that I'm most excited to show off. So, as many of you will remember, I've wanted to kind of make some changes to the character creation process for a while now. This whole Nexus scenario where I kind of have to wait until after the Nexus deadline passes for mod deletions to figure out what the final kind of list is going to be has fortunately afforded me some time to dig into this stuff. And so what you have now is a completely new character creation system that utilizes diverse character creation. It is a heavily edited version of diverse character creation that I've created. So essentially what you'll have here is these characters all get skill bonuses based on their race as per usual. When you, well, I don't even know how to do this in sequence. Let's just, alright, you know what, let's just do it naturally. Let's go ahead and give me a race. First race that I hear, I'm going with. We'll make a character based off that. Altmer, okay. Maybe a caster here. It doesn't have to be. Wow, Tor got in there right before Muffington. Breton and Altmer, I mean, they wouldn't be that. Wow, okay, we got a lot of Altmer requests. It seems like that's going to be it. Okay, so we got our High Elf. Now here's something kind of tricky. Here's what she's supposed to look like. If I go to the face part, there's the high poly head, right? The high poly head is much, much better. The regular head is not so bad for the high elves, I think. Oops. But high poly, much, much better, right? Looks way more like an actual creature. We're going to go to the presets. The presets should all keep it, I believe. Yes. So the idea here is to have the high poly head be the default, which we are so close to getting to work. Please understand, this was supposed to be a very small tweak. That was what was causing the crashes, if you remember, in the last session that we had. I was trying to basically swap out the defaults, just try and find a way to get these high poly heads displayed by default, because otherwise players kind of have to go down to this face part slider. It's kind of obscure. Most people don't know about it. It's just weird. And also, getting the head by default allows me to adjust all the brows and other features so that they are correct by default as well. So it's just way easier to make a good-looking character. The difficulty here, you can see, obviously, that it is not defaulted yet. The difficulty here is that, yo, thank you so much for the cheer, Noxon. The difficulty is that from my testing, which has been extensive, I assure you, the race menu, not even just the race menu mod, but even Skyrim's default race menu, if you change your race, that one's actually okay, so you have to change it manually. If you change your race or if you change your gender, watch, I'll change over to my guy here, right? That's it back to the regular face. You can tell because his beard is all messed up. I believe if I change it back, you can see now her face has reset, right? So it is a real bummer, right, to have that kind of function that way, because basically it means even though I am able to set the face by default, it just gets undone the second you change your race or you change your gender, which is a problem because obviously people are going to do that while creating a character. What I managed to ascertain, hello Noxon, how you doing? What I managed to ascertain is that somewhere in the code, I don't know if this qualifies as reverse engineering. I can't get at the code for the race menu, just a vanilla code. So instead of setting it again each time those sliders are touched, because you can do that, I tried to do that, it doesn't work. It doesn't work anyway. It took a while to figure out why that was the case, and I know the reason now, or at least I know what's happening. I don't know the cause necessarily because I can't see the source code. But the cause is that whenever you change your race, it is deriving the default head from the race records themselves. It is possible to go into the race records and change the default head to high poly head, which is probably what we're going to be doing. However, that, as some of you might know, will create the dreaded tinted face bug on pretty much every single character in the game that utilizes the default head part and was not supposed to be using high poly head. The cool part, though, is that I think I should be able to change it the way that I want, and then just regenerate the face generation in the creation kit and just ship that with the thing. Ship that with Ultimate Skyrim, and it should work. I don't know if it's going to work, and it's going to be, unfortunately, quite a while since I'm able to test it, or until I'll be able to test it, because I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to be gone for about a week, all of next week in Wisconsin, with my wife and her family. So I will still be working. I'm going to be working on kind of some administrative and managerial stuff that I need to do. But unfortunately, I won't be able to do much dev work, so I won't be able to test it until 2 weeks from now. We'll go ahead and see how that goes. But I'm pretty sure it's going to work. And all of this, may I remind you, in service of just making sure these heads are the correct one. So, you know, someone might make the argument that it's a bit overkill. I'm not sure I would argue with them on that. Oh, yeah, and so you can see here, now, our face part slider is, like, straight up broken from what we just tried to do. Let's see if it lets us fix it. Yeah, okay, there we go. Changing the preset helped. So we're going to go preset. I quite like this one. It's pretty cool, right? So yeah, it's going to be a pretty cool thing, I think. And it's small, but like there really is an advantage to doing this. I know it seems like a small tweak. So Monique just said, right, I can already see the dozens of Reddit posts asking why their character is half bald. So one of the benefits of ensuring that every character that you're going to make is high poly head by default, it allows me to remove all of the character creation options that are not already patched or created specifically for the high poly head. So all of the hairs will work, all of the brows will work. The difficulty that you have typically when using high poly head is that many of the default kind of appearance options are not built for the high poly head, so they look wonky. That's why you had those eyebrows that were kind of donked. That won't happen anymore. It allows us to really kind of drill down and make sure that everything's working by default and just give people like the kind of smooth startup experience that they're hoping for, right? Well, see, here's the thing. You can't. Well, I could do documentation. I considered throwing a message up being like, make sure you change the face part slider. I just don't like any of that shit. It's like, I don't like making users do it. I'm shooting for an audience here that has no fucking clue about like anything. I want casual players who just want to play a cool ass version of Skyrim. I don't want them to have to figure out anything at all. So that's kind of my goal here. With that said, why don't we go ahead and well, this character looks good enough to me. I don't really feel like customizing it. I think she looks great. Right? Exactly. I don't want you to think, or I want you to think about the game. You know what I mean? I want you to think about making the game fun and having fun with the mechanics and all that kind of stuff. I don't want you to have to think about weird technical limitations and things of that nature, right? Okay, so we got our character. Someone give me a name. First name I see, I'm going with. Oh, wow. I like that plot. Alario. Yeah, no kidding. That's like an actual character. That's like a character that would fit into the roleplay post that you make. Okay, so continue with this character. Continue. So now we get to see the next cool thing. Here's where you get to select a background. So some of you might remember the background kind of situation, right? So I made sure I fit it into the right spot, so to speak. This way it's not popping up after the game's already started, and this way also I've done a lot under the hood to change how this works. I think it's pretty cool. Oh, this is not y'all, Gak. No fucking clue about anything. I promise you, any one of you who are already watching my streams and are already kind of familiar with everything that's going on, you guys are advanced users compared to the sort of users that I'm hoping to target with this release, or with this version, maybe not with the initial release. Hopefully with the initial release, hopefully it's smooth enough. But there will be bugs, of course. Skyrim Extended Cut looks really cool. I love it in theory. It's, of course, going to depend on the execution. Also, hell yeah, Zigstar. 6 gigabytes of VRAM, you will be chillin'. You will definitely be able to do it. You can also adjust your performance up and down. And if you really want to max out the performance, you can turn off all the graphical improvements. How you doing, Shots? All right, so we can choose a background. We can make our own. I went through, I did a lot of copy editing to make the questions really grammatically correct and so on and so forth. Just a lot of little things. Like I also swapped the yes and no buttons actually this time around. So we got a lot of different options here. And here's where I've really kind of dug in and started to change things. So before, what would happen here, unfortunately, is that regardless of the skill bonuses you selected as part of your race, those would be nullified by the source code in diverse character creation. I prevented that from happening. So instead, what you are getting is additive skill bonuses. You are getting the racial skills on top of the skill bonuses that you will get from picking these classes or by creating your own. So that's really cool. That will kind of really carry this feeling of like, oh, you do have a background, you were doing these things, and you do have like a decent amount of exceptional skill in what you're doing. The other cool bit is that based on the background that you choose or based on the background that you create, it's really based on the skills that you acquire. You will get spells and equipment that is appropriate for your background, right? That's kind of my own personal touch, we'll say. Ideally not Zigstar. That is, yes, as Plot says, that is what I obsess about, is making it as accessible as possible. Let's go ahead and choose a class here. What would be a fun one? Of course, a mage or something with spellcasting would be the go-to for a high elf. However, you don't have to do that. You can branch out, do something different. What should we do? A Nightblade, eh? Nightblade is the first suggestion. Whoa, that's not fair. I did see someone else say assassin. What is the assassin class? Alchemy, evasion, lockpicking, marksman, one-handed sneak. Are you an assassin? It's pretty good. And then Nightblade is alteration, destruction, evasion, lockpicking, one-handed restoration. Alright, here we go. Here's what I'm going to do. There is a custom option, Breeze. I can show that off. Hold on. Pull. If I hit pull, here we go. Question. Assassin or Nightblade? And we're going to make this a 2-minute vote while I show off some of these other features. Nightblades are like assassins with magic. Cast your votes now, everybody. So I will show you the options that you have for customizing your characters. So you can create your own background, right, from all the different skills. Magic skills, stealth skills, combat skills, block. Sure, select skill, skill C. You just go through here, select your 6 major skills, right? You're actually going to return. You're going to remove those. So you have that option to customize exactly what your background is yourself. Or you can answer questions, which I actually don't want to click because I believe that, I don't know if there's an option to have it take you back out. But, yeah, I can show the bard skills. Here's the bard. Block, enchanting, illusion, evasion, one-handed speechcraft. Answer questions will hit you with a 10-question quiz straight out of Morrowind. I don't know if it's actually identical, the questions, but some of them are identical. And basically, you answer them according to how your character would, and that will recommend a class for you. Right? So, based on all this stuff, you can really just drilled in, who knows what I'm saying, and create just whatever character you want, right? And then who asked? I saw a good question a little bit up. Also, Shots. No, it is not Requiem 3.4. It is currently Requiem 4.0.1. Thank you for wow, that's crazy coincidental timing. Thank you for the Prime sub, Shots. 4 months. Someone asked what's the difference in perks and levels between the two? So the way that all of this works, you will still start out at level 1. You will get the starting perk in each of the skills that your class carries. Perks are obviously huge in Requiem. So, you know, it's pretty good. All right, the vote. Wow, 85% Nightblade. Looks like we have a strong favorite. Enchanting Awakened, huh, Plot? Interesting. Let me write it down. just to make sure. I know that our boy Simon Magus, I don't know how he pronounces it, has been working on an enchanting mod as well, which I'm very excited about. Okay, Nightblade it is, y'all. Enchanting Awakened. Alright, so we agreed on Assassin, right? Okay, so Nightblades are spellcasters who use their magics to enhance mobility, concealment, and stealthy close combat. They have a sinister reputation since many Nightblades are thieves, enforcers, assassins, or covert agents. Alteration, destruction, evasion, lockpicking, one-handed, and restoration will be our skills. Are we a Nightblade? Oh yeah. Boom. My guess is Ultimate Skyrim, Monique, at least the first version. Here's the other bit, too, is that, so by default, if you do not, I still need to like throw a couple more message boxes into the beginning telling people what button to press in order to start, and also telling them that if they want to, they can adjust the stuff about their start, right, as they like it. But what will happen when you jump in is that you'll see this little box. This is not final copy, it's just kind of placeholder for now, right? But yeah, so it just kind of plops you in, and as you guys will see, there's a couple cool things going on behind the scenes here. For example, this weather is very specifically chosen for the intro. And as we pop in, you can see we are right here at the Skyrim border, the border near Helgen into Cyrodiil. So this is the default start that you will have if you do not select anything different for your own start, right? And let's go ahead and check our inventory. You won't have this. This is part of my debugging tools, right? You can see, because we are one-handed, we have one-handed skill, we start with an iron sword. Everybody starts with a woodcutter's axe as of now. Here, you can kind of see our character here. This is her starting gear. So what we have is an iron sword because we have one-handed. We should have, yes, a full set of fur because I'm assuming evasion was one of our skills. I can't really remember, but I think so. Oh, thank you for the follow, Ryu. We got some potions, just a very, very mild little assortment of basic potions, plus a healing poultice, which really, as many of you vets will know, that stuff will be helpful, but it's certainly not going to... Obviously, the start is a lot easier here, or significantly easier than the default Requiem start, but it's still pretty tough if you don't know what you're doing. You got some very basic kind of food here, right? You still can do that, Tor. You would just have to manually kind of choose one of those options, right? And then we've got some, this, assume that you wouldn't have it. Can I drop it? Coin purse. I got some lock picks. Oh, I got a spell research journal. Oh, wow, I got 3 of them. That's tricky because it's adding 1. I actually didn't even think to test that. But we have 3 spell research journals because it's adding 1 for each spell school that you have, so I should probably figure out a better way to do that. Add like a conditional check that if you have any of the spell schools, it gives you 1. If not, it won't. And you got a torch, and that is pretty much your starting gear. We can check and see our spells as well. So this is one. Oh, I still need to remove weather sense. Let me make a note of that real fast. I've removed a lot of stuff that gets added to you on startup that I think is kind of annoying, especially since we have... It's not annoying, it's obviously there's a reason that it does it, but because we have this handy-dandy thing, it's kind of unnecessary, right? You can just see what your abilities are through that. So yeah, we got heal self. Let's go ahead and favorite all of these, except for weather sense. Fact, what is highborn? That's my racial ability. What's up, Jay? How did I do which part? The keyboard? Oh no, the keyboard is full custom. So I created this image myself. We really owe a matter of time that creates the clock widgets, right? So here, we'll take it. Oh, and someone asked here. Let's look at the skills. So here's our skill levels, right? We got Destruction 25, Restoration 20, Alteration 20. We got the first perks in these ones, so we are sitting tight as our Nightblade. We've got 0 in a lot of other skills. We've got one-handed 15, which is, it makes sense. You know, we got a nice bonus because we are a Nightblade, but because we are a high elf, we are not getting a particularly great bonus. We're getting 0 bonus, actually, I would imagine, to one-handed. A little bit of same thing with evasion. We don't get any natural bonuses. What is up, mate? How you doing? Same thing with lockpicking. So this is a very interesting class to have chosen because it's about half really well suited for a high elf, half generally not high elf style, which is a lot of fun, I think. I think that's a good kind of challenge for a, you know, yeah, sneak 0, not ideal. So that's going to be a problem. Definitely going to want to, and what someone mentioned too, it's kind of weird that illusion is not part of the Nightblade. I agree. Maybe we can go in and change that. Possible to modify that image to have one with transparency, like one click show the full image, click again, have it be like 50. Theoretically, it would be possible, Breeze. I chose to do it this way and kind of keep it there so that you can see some element of, you know, what's going on behind. That's why it's not taking up the full screen. What you'd really need to do in that case is you need to add a separate keybind to create a oh, thank you for the follow, Ollie. You need to create a separate keybind for the 50% transparency version. But if you wanted to, you could also do this. You could go into a matter of time. I started to say this. A matter of time is the reason that I'm able to do something like this. It's a really well-built mod, and it's a mod for creating the Flash-based widgets that Skyrim's interface utilizes. So basically what I did is I replaced the default sky dial and set all the settings to default so that it would be exactly how I wanted it to be, right? So if you took this, let's say transparency 60. Now that makes it a bit more transparent. You can still see your character behind it. What about other keyboard layouts than US? Yes, unfortunately, this is it's not a dynamic like layout thing, right? In fact, this one's actually slightly out of date. There's a couple different buttons that are or there's a couple buttons that have been kind of shifted around, so this one's not entirely up to date. Yes, I agree with you, Plot. Yeah, restoration also could. I like the idea of restoration just because it's a great early game skill, and I like to think that a Nightblade and an assassin working behind enemy lines might need some first aid, we might say. But I mean, at the very least, a Nightblade should have either evasion or illusion. It's got to be one or the other, if not both, right? Say Nightblade, illusion, or evasion. Sorry, no, sneak. That's what I meant. Evasion defaults to sneak in my head. Anyway, let's go ahead and make it happen. Oh, here's one thing. So here's an issue that I still have not been able to solve yet, unfortunately. As far as I can tell, it is an issue with smooth cam, like just straight up vanilla smooth cam, right? So some of you might have noticed that. Oh, it is interesting, Asmodean. That is weird. Well, okay, maybe here I'll circle sneak then. Sneak seems like something a Nightblade would have, no matter what, right? So I'm gonna circle it. It's weird to think that a Nightblade wouldn't have sneak. Sergeant Muffington, it is kind of I think the creator of Diverse Character Creation, who, by the way, like, the way they built this out is so cool to me. And when I found that mod, it was like exactly what I was looking for. I was so thrilled to find it. It did exactly what I wanted without so much of, not what I didn't want, but just without a bunch more features that a lot of the other kind of character creation overhauls create. Those are super cool. It's just way more extensive than what I was looking for because obviously Requiem is this very careful balance. And I didn't want to make the game easier too much, right? So some of you might, excuse me, I had a super burrito from Trader Joe's before I started this stream, so I'm very burpy. Some of you might have noticed that I encourage players in that final screen to save and I can't remember the verbiage that I used, but something like, you know, confirm your character by creating a backup save and then close out of the game and reload it. So there's a secret reason for that, and the reason is that when you use smooth cam, by default the crosshair settings are a little wonky. They don't show up properly until you close the game and then restart it. I'm not sure if that applies to what's it called, to magic as well. I don't think so. So it looks like we're fine. So we can get away with not doing that because we have a character who does not use bows and arrows here, but that's my way of kind of tricking players into potentially doing that without me having to, you know, tell them that there's a bug, essentially. And I'm hoping to be able to solve that at some point, but because it is a vanilla smooth cam bug, and smooth cam is a very complex system, I think it's a bit beyond my abilities, at least as of now. So that's my way of kind of tricking players into doing it. Oh, I'm glad you think the movement is smooth. I've worked really hard to try and create like a really solid third-person camera. Obviously, the third-person camera by default is not amazing in Skyrim, but smooth cam is really, really helpful for that. Also, you are going to see some pop-in from distant objects because I don't have Dindulod running yet. But yeah, this is the default start. What is up, Padinsky? Yeah, that is true, Ragavar. Yeah, maybe they did just rip those from some of the older games, right? It's very possible. Anyway, well, something that we should do. Everyone starts with a fox herb cutlet. This is not a particularly powerful, what's it called, food item, but it does give you a decent stamina buff, which is very, very important. So my hope is that people will notice that and understand how important food buffs are without, you know, direct kind of intervention. Do I plan on doing the grass LOD? I'm actually still not sure yet, Monique. I really like the grass LOD feature, and I have messed around with it quite a bit at this point. I do find that the distant grass oftentimes is slightly discolored, and while I can kind of finagle with some settings to try and fix it, I also find that just the like Phoenix of the Phoenix flavor and I were talking a little while back about how I really think you can replicate a lot of the visual fidelity just by getting good landscape textures and letting the grass kind of have a fade range as per usual. This ENB is the Rudy ENB for Cathedral Weathers, Mad Menon. Yes, that is exactly what happened with me, Monique. Yes, Noxon, that is a diverse character creation. Thank you very much, Jay. Alright, I gotta start paying. Oh. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and. What are they doing? I was gonna say, I'm gonna start paying attention here because we're gonna have some creatures. So this is, I mean, as y'all know, wolves are no joke in Requiem. I'm trying to think if I can even take these guys on. It's possible. I might have to expend Highborn. Maybe not. I don't have dual casting yet, but here's what I'll do. I do have a large magic pool, so that'll help a lot. And I do have heal self. Oh, whoops. Alright, I prefer personally to fight in, that's a pit wolf. What is that? Oh, he's running. Oh, you know what? I am going to have to launch Highborn. Ow, that hurt. That hurt a lot. Even just scaring them off, and also we're getting experience with it as well. Ow! And let me use my quick heal key there. That is an important key for those of you who know of it. Highborn might have been overkill there, but you know what? Better overkill than dead. I still got Highborn, so I might as well just launch this shit. Yeah, that lightning is very loud. Thank you so much for the sub. Brought to you by Q, 4 months. Much appreciated, my friend. I don't know if I want to address these things. I think right now, my goal is to get to somewhere safe. I am just a traveler arriving in Skyrim. Pit wolf, huh? Let me, what are you guys from? Ice wolf. I don't know why they're called pit wolves. They've escaped from a fighting pit somewhere. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the kill cam myself, Cisco. I need to turn it off. I just haven't bothered to yet. I actually, so y'all know I'm kind of crazy when it comes to the kill cam. Thank you so much for the sub, Ollie. Uh-oh, what is happening here? Oh, yeah, you guys remember this bug. Kill the kill cam. So this is, unfortunately, a weather bug that I still need to fix. It comes from using the obsidian weathers, right? So that should fix it. Yes, that is the classic, Monique. But so the kill cams, I like kill cams, you know, we'll call it in the abstract. I am personally not a huge fan of kill cams in this game because the default implementation makes it very, very easy to end up taking unnecessary damage because the game is wresting control away from the player. I really don't like when the game does that. I was playtesting like last week, and I actually ended up dying because I hit... Excuse me while I grab some water. I'm not using Obsidian Weathers. I am using Cathedral, but I had an Obsidian Weathers add-on that I think is out of date now. So I need to get rid of it. I actually was playtesting the other day, and I straight up died because my kill cam, I fired an arrow, it killed an enemy, and then a different enemy fired an arrow back at me at the same time, and I was not able to dodge the arrow because the kill cam had taken control away. And I was just like, yo, that sucks. Real bummer, that. Okay, I'm gonna start gathering up some mountain flowers. This character does not have alchemy, do they? Alright, let's come up with a backstory. The kill cam does not have total immortality. It has reduced damage, I want to say. But in this particular case, it didn't matter anyway, because what happened is that I straight up like exited the kill cam right as the arrow hit me, so I was just done. It is oh yeah, no kidding, Asmo. Yes, it is, like, again, it's, you know, a cool concept, but, I'm also not sure if I'm going to keep these snowberry models. I think they're pretty cool. But, I don't know. We'll call that a maybe. Ooh. Real foggy situation here. Let's do some third-person combat. I'm going to make a save. This ain't no permadeath character. Whoops. That's some of that. Yeah, I'm not sure. This fog might be added by Obsidian as well. I'm not super sure. It also might be a Cathedral Weathers scenario. I don't like these kinds of fogs because they are what we like to call image space modifiers as opposed to real volumetric fogs. I'm not sure when that one goes, like what the circumstances are. Oh, look, here's Helgen, I think. So, alright, what's the backstory to our character? Let's say she is, let's see, she's a high elf. She is... elf who is forced to work for the Thalmor to pay back some of the family debts. Alright, oh shit, we got origins, 2 of them. Family Black Sheep daughter joined traveling circus and learned cool magic and acrobatics. Okay, how about this? Let's merge those two. We've got an estranged family Black Sheep who is, we'll say, at least in her heart of hearts, thank you so much for the gifted sub, Gak. In her heart of hearts, at the very least indifferent to Thalmor supremacy, but maybe leaning towards, I'm not a huge fan of the fascistic Thalmor. However, her family most certainly is, and so she's basically in an effort to secure her family's love that she craves so much. She has come to Skyrim under the guise of an independent adventurer, but actually as a Thalmor agent, and she is trying to, you know, usurp or further the Thalmor interests here in Skyrim as she arrives because she's heard of the Civil War and all of that nonsense. Join the traveling Thalmor fascist circus, learn cool magic and acrobatics to pay off the family debts. Oh, I love it. What an incredible backstory. Who could ask for more? Alright, well. What is this that she's happened upon? smoke and fire. It's got her hands at the ready, as any good mage would. What has happened to this town that she has stumbled across? Whatever it was, it looks recent. Helgen discovered. Hello, anybody? Hello, hello. We have ways of finding out who you really are, Thalmor Acrobat Windhelm. That is actually how it is by default, Mulna. So that last wolf that I killed was the last one of the pack. The other ones were dead. So the kill cam only typically, as far as I know, it only plays on the last enemy. But even then, it's like can be wonky. Like I said, for whatever reason, it didn't detect that other enemy who shot at me in that scenario that I mentioned. Well, doesn't seem like there's anyone here. What about inside? Actually, you know what? I kind of want to lock these doors by default. I'll say lock. Helgen keep by default. Because here's a bit of spoiler. Oh wait, I meant to reply to someone's question. Someone asked what my plans were regarding additional mechanics mods, like was it Winter Sun you asked about? One of those types of mods. Those are definitely high priority for after the first versions. I'm not sure if I'm going to be going with the Enai mods specifically, or maybe some of Simon's mods, but definitely some mechanics mods that add some cool stuff to things like standing stones, religion worship, things of that nature. Yeah, the kill cam is coolest for sure when you hit an enemy with an arrow. So quest mods are a definite maybe, Sergeant Muffington. They're at lower priority for me in general. I would rather kind of get the main mechanics nailed down first, and then I'll start evaluating stuff like that. So here's kind of the big secret here. I'll let you guys in on a little secret, is that Helgen is actually empty by default in Skyrim Unbound, right? So what it basically then becomes is a sort of a freebie location, right? Like there's a bunch of stuff in here that you can grab. There's really not going to be any threats that are here, because the whole thing is that the dragon sequence is supposed to have already happened, right? Also, we can do this. So ignore these arrow bone crude business right here, right? Those are not supposed to be there, and I've forgotten to take them out. And ignore this saying Scrimshaw. This menu is actually a brand. This is something I actually forgot to tell you guys. This is another big mechanical change. So crafting is now divided into the crafting menu like this, right? You just have like your standard stuff that you can make. This will just kind of teach you. I need to get rid of these ones too. Teach you what you can make at any given time. A lot of that's food. It's just like your recipe book, essentially, right? So that's how it was in Ultimate Skyrim on Legendary Edition. However, I have also moved all of the breakdown recipes into their own menu. This will be called the disassembly menu. And from this menu, you can basically break down anything that you have on you into just useful materials. So things like kindling, if you have wood. You can see we can make some linen cloth here because we have some linen clothes in our backpack. We've got some fragments here that we can make. This is another big change to how breakdowns work, is you no longer need like a smelter or any sort of crafting perks to break items down into their fragments, right? You will need those perks in order to smelt them into ingots or to use them in recipes. But a cool kind of feature of that is that, you know, iron fragments and just all material fragments, metal fragments, they are subject to the same kind of value, what should I say, value attributions as the other metals, right? So like, you know, if you're in an area where iron is very valuable or silver is especially valuable, that will also apply to the fragments. That means you can still kind of engage in that economic trade element as a character who is not necessarily a smith. You still kind of get the option to do that. Essentially, you're like, imagine if you had like a bunch of plate pieces that you're just handing off to the local smith and they're paying you for it, kind of thing. The other advantage of that is that if you, let's say, have only a limited amount of carry weight, let's just, for the sake of conversation, let's do this. Help. Iron cuirass. That's not how you spell that. For Armo. Player.add item. Where's my standard iron cuirass? Go 1, 2, E, 4, 9. We got 10 here, right? So that is very, very clearly over our carry weight limit by a whole lot. What I can do then is basically break them all down into fragments, right? Using the breakdown menu right here. You can do that a whole lot, actually. I need to... So let's say we just broke them all down into fragments. It's still going to be over our carry weight, significantly less now, because the way that breakdowns work is you're not getting the full amount of materials, right? The fragments are not very heavy. Let's see, yeah, 0.2 per in the case of iron. All the fragment weights are based on the weights of the metals themselves. That's all balanced. So what you could do here is, let's say you just really wanted to stock up right to the limit of what you could carry, instead of having to choose between, you know, 1 whole cuirass or 2 whole cuirasses, right? You can just go, let's say, I'm going to drop like 92. Let's drop a couple more. And drop 33. So you can see that brought us right below the carry weight limit. So there's our fragments, and now we are good to go. So it just really, in my opinion, the whole purpose of it is, one, to allow, you know, non-smiths and non-crafting characters still to engage in that sort of trading element, and also it gives you a little bit more flexibility in terms of managing your inventory. Noxon. This is, my GPU is a 3080. It is one of the EVGA FTW3s, so it is very gnarly. I'm afraid that I've heard some issues with that series of cards, like burning up if the frame rates are too high, but luckily that's not a problem in Skyrim. It's a problem in the interiors, but not in the exteriors. Yeah, that's kind of the goal, Ragavar, and just in a way that's like fairly intuitive and what's the word? Simple, I guess, easy. I do like inventory management as a concept. Inventory management to me is an important part of a role-playing game where you're collecting different stuff and it's all resource-based economies and like that. Where inventory management becomes not so fun is if it's just mechanically like tedious to do, right? So it is something I've tried to avoid. Ooh. Our first clue, back in character, our first clue as to what happened here. We've got a decimated corpse over here. How do you explain how a character was able to break a full sword into little pieces? So that's an interesting point, Molna. You could consider this system kind of half finished. I've thought about that a lot, and while, you know, maybe you could come up with some solution, maybe they're hitting it real hard against a wall or something. I did want to address that, and so probably what I'm going to introduce in later versions is the ability for characters to purchase and create just tools for like disassembling things or crafting things, and almost have those tools function as like you know how like in old games or old CRPGs you would get like an armor smith's hammer, right? And the hammer would have a certain number of uses, and you could use that hammer to, you know, kind of repair your armor on the fly. It would basically function like that, where it's like, what if I had kind of like metal tongs or metal cutters or something like that you could use to kind of disassemble the thing, and every time you would use it, you lose a charge of durability. I would think that helps the logic of it all, which is important to me, while also keeping in line with making things intuitive and not clunky to use. That is the goal, anyway. Ooh, this is a good pickup. Oh yeah. Well, you know, how's our marksman skill? Probably not great. 0. Fun. Well, you know what? You can always get better. I'm actually going to drop all these iron ingots or fragments rather. They're not ours. We did not earn them. Right? Thank you, mail. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and take, you know, because a wooden bow. Ooh, this is pretty good. Iron war axe, sleeved heavy cuirass. Iron war axe is better than my sword, because it's also well made. This is some military grade gear right here. We got here Imperial heavy boots, but we are not a heavy armor character. Ooh, an Imperial short sword. I actually like that the most. Oh, a faded note. And you can always have another torch. Now you can purchase 10 repair hammers for only $5.99 on Patreon. Yes, of course. We can drop our iron sword, and frankly the war axe as well. It does have more damage overall. However, I prefer the speed of the short sword, and it is tempered even higher. So I'm going to favorite these. I was going to say before that even in unskilled hands, maybe a dagger as a backup, even in unskilled hands, a bow and arrow can be a useful tool, especially if we are at a distance, we're out of magicka. Better to have the option, I would say. Got these boots, we can drop these. Really, I don't need these. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and break them down into linen cloth so that I can potentially make bandages or things that I might need later just to have it. Yes! Crossbows are definitely available. Crossbows are fully integrated throughout the game. In Ultimate Skyrim, you can... and Requiem does this a lot too, but I add additional crossbows. You can essentially look at crossbows as something that is no longer, like, specific to Dawnguard. It's rather just a part of the world that you will find, like, everywhere. Would there be any way to implement weapon speed in the inventory? Yeah, Monique. Actually, it's in here. I believe... I don't know why these are... the strings are not showing properly. But it should be here. I thought it was. Yeah, speed. Oh, wait, shit, it's not showing up. Well, that's not good. Maybe... So usually when you have something with a $sign in front of some text, that means that it's not loading a string properly. So I don't know why this isn't showing up, but I will figure that out. Let me go ahead and write that. I'm actually going to put that on the major list. I'm going to say... Why aren't additional stats showing in... I believe it's Moorhud inventory that adds those. So I will go ahead and make sure that I handle that. Yeah, crossbows are great. They are a really good alternative, especially for characters who are... Like, if we had a crossbow right now, that would be fantastic, because crossbows are particularly useful for characters who do not have a whole lot of... marksman skill. That's kind of their main deal. So I picked up that wooden roped bucket. Oops. That was not what I meant to do. Because I wanted to make some kindling. I figure I might as well use it, since we're getting this free stuff here. And another cool thing is that, generally speaking, I think I've covered everything. But you could even grab these iron tankards, right? Any sort of material item, you can see that these will also break down into fragments. Another purpose of my implementation of the fragment system is to, one, create breakdowns for all the kind of random items that you find, like, around the world that have, you know, material types, and also fragment, like, a lot of different mods have tried to do that. That includes Requiem as well, right? And a problem that they run into is that the way that the recipe system where, ooh, this would be a good one, an iron kettle would yield a whole lot of fragments. Look at that, 120. An issue that a lot of these mods run into is that because of the way that the recipe system works, you can't really, like, mix and match items, right? So, like, let's say you needed 5 whole forks to create, like, a single ingot, or let's say 10 forks. You can't, like, mix and match a fork and a knife and a spoon or something like that, which you definitely would be able to do IRL. So fragments are a way of creating almost like a smaller version of the same currency that disallows you from needing to have those types of recipes, because it doesn't make any sense, really. Yes, and that is the another express purpose of this feature, is to make sure... I mean, this is a game, fundamentally... Most games are about collecting resources in some way. Oh, fuck! Most games are about collecting resources and using those resources for interesting things. The coolest thing to me about Elder Scrolls games, or one of the coolest things to me, something I fell in love with, like, the moment that I played Morrowind, was that every little object can be interacted with and picked up and whatever. So to me, the next step for that was making sure that every object had a purpose, even if it was something as simple as a bottle or a bread loaf or a little tankard, right? So with this... Alto Noir. Oh, I don't think I added recipes to pour these out. I used to have those. I think I will need to add that. Okay, let's do this. I don't want to get drunk right now, but, alright, let's do this. Let's pretend. I'm gonna make a save just because it's been a while. Say help, empty. I think it's, yeah, no. Say help empty bottle. Say glass bottle. That's right, it's empty. So if you were to drink that wine bottle, let's pretend that we did. I just don't want to because I don't want to be drunk. What would happen is that you would get one of these. Let's just go ahead and say FED17. Glass bottle. Right? And then we'll go ahead and drop our, what was this? Alto Noir wine. And then you can also break these down into the glass that you use for things like building and for like hearth fire and things like that. Right? So just in keeping in line with the wait a second. Let me make sure something's working here. Ingredients. Salt. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, that was the value weight ratio. Okay, whoops. Come on, chat, let's get drunk. Alan, let's get drunk. Let's do it. Team drunken session. Oh, yeah, Ragavar. Well, hopefully it makes it better because you'll have a reason to do that. Maybe that does make it worse. You're probably right. Here's a crossbow. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and, well, these can both break, so maybe I don't want to get rid of the other one quite yet. But this is pretty good. A crossbow. I don't have any bolts, though. Oh, I need to get a oh, here we go. Bolt iron. That's what I'm talking about, baby. Thank you, Requiem. Also, if y'all don't know, Requiem is another, so like I'm of the opinion that it's the little details that really make the game, right? And really show you how much somebody cared about making a consistent experience and things like that. I guarantee to you, this crossbow and those bolts, I would bet money that those are hand-placed references by Requiem. Requiem is chock full of little things like that, and it's a big part of why I love it so much. We really, do I keep good backups of my work? I do, Noxon, but as you say that, I should make another backup right after this stream, we'll say. What time is it right now? 1:15? How is it already 1:15? We're getting all kinds of stuff. Is there an option to get rid of the weapon breakage? There absolutely is, Molna. I know not everyone... I actually have considered turning that off myself. What you would do is you would go into the mod configuration. This is also worth noting, I would say, is that I have all of the mod configuration settings set by default, right? To the kind of, we'll call it the ideal or the intended ultimate Skyrim experience. However, you still can go in and change anything you want to be to your preference. All of these settings will work. They are all ready for you to go. The one exception to that is complete crafting overhaul. I have to set some of its globals every single time you start the game because they just don't work otherwise. So there are a couple different settings in here that will be reset, and that's things like just things like protecting favorited items, or like, yes, you can break down equipment. They are things that you, generally would want to leave like as they are, right? But with those exceptions, everything else is customizable to whatever you like. And if you want to choose that specific or adjust that specific setting, also if Jay is still in the chat, he might be excited to see that. This is Jay's original mod. This is I mean, really, there's been many mods that have been added to Ultimate Skyrim by the team. Just little like tweaks and features and things that they add. This is might be, well, some of Finn's mods are in there too, and God knows Lizzie has contributed so many tweaks, and so did Haz back in the day. I'd say this is the first mod that we have that is directly by a team member that has its own proprietary MCM. So that maybe that's the record right there. Anyway, you go into Requiem, and I believe it's combat, maybe atmosphere? Combat, death on... Whoa, did they remove the ability? Exhaustion does not disarm. Skills and perks? Oh, shit. Well, looks like you're in trouble, Mulna. I don't know if you can adjust that by default from within the game anymore. They might have removed that option. But if you really want to, you can go in. There's a keyword in these simple wooden weapons that makes that possible, right? That breaks them. You can take out that keyword yourself without too much difficulty. Fur guard boots, eh? Is that better than what I have? It's the same. The best item marker gets a little confused, I've noticed, unfortunately. Also, yeah, as we look at this stuff, look at this. You can see that any of the values that have the improper string display, well, no, these ones are kind of showing up. Oh, wait a second. What the hell? It's like I hover over them and I don't know, something's weird there. That's going to take some, ooh, spider venom. Yes. This is kind of a gross thing he's got going here. These are good ingredients, though. These are valuable. Garlic, hawk feathers, iron torture tools, leather strips. She's just trying to figure out what's going on here. No, so the vast majority of weapons are not breakable. The only weapons that actually are breakable are extremely simple, like wooden weapons, right? So, for example, the hunting bow or this wooden crossbow, those would break. A couple other weapons are... Yeah, I was wondering what the feathers are for. Maybe that literally is it. Also, oops. Oh, there's something glowing over here. We got some chorus eggs. Those are pretty good. And a spider egg. Man, you guys can see how much valuable shit there is in this this dungeon. Oh, and a big... Oh, guess who's a lockpicker? This Nightblade, and we got 5 of them. Which is good, because lockpicks are hard. Hey! Not bad. Got some septums. What's up, bud? How's my carry weight doing? 101 out of 145. Pretty good. Oh, this person's... Ha! That's an unfortunate name. It must be ironic. What do we got? Brief history of the Empire. Oh, we didn't read that note. We're in character, right? Let's go, Faded note. By the authority, blah, 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 bear this letter to be afforded all reimbursements to private citizens for the use of horses, claiming right any representative company signature bearer. Under no circumstances is the seal on accompanying package to be broken. I have no fucking clue what that is talking about. It unfortunately... If we were really wanted to be in character, we needed to add that report or grab it. I forgot to grab it, so let's go ahead and fix that. I'm going to say report for book. Add item. There it is. Oh, that's the trainer's guide. Okay, never mind. That tells you where some trainers are. Pretty cool. Does damage on lockpicks accumulate? I was actually wondering that myself, Ragavar, like a moment ago. I actually don't know the answer to that question. It would be interesting to know. Also, someone asked what the lighting mod is. Exterior lighting is a combo of many different lighting mods. It's Cathedral Weathers. It is ooh, there's another one. The illustrious dynamic volumetric sun shadows or whatever it's called, right? Oi, this way. Oh, maybe there. Fuck! Oh, no. I'm gonna say right about there. Oh, God. Is it more up? Oh, shit. Okay. Yeah, that one, which is just absolutely gorgeous. The interiors are currently handled by relighting Skyrim and enhanced lighting for E and B, which is pretty good. I do like it. I think that it does its job well. But Lux is really kind of proving itself to be the new hotness when it comes to interior lighting. and I'm very excited to experiment with that a little bit as we go along. There are no vampire mods as of now, shots, but that is another. You can kind of lump that in the same group as like the religion mods and the standing stones mods. We'll call those like mechanical systems mods. Those are still incredibly high priority. They're the highest priority stuff for the subsequent versions. Requiem vampirism is very polarizing. It is. Oh, Sergeant Muffington, are you talking about oh, I still gotta fix this too. There's a weird dust lighting effect. I don't know what's happening here. It's like low res or something. I gotta figure that out. Are you talking about the Daedric dagger? Because if so, no, you cannot find that anymore. It's actually removed by the Requiem Minor Arcana edits. Yes, that is what I'm waiting for, Great Padinsky. And just there's so many other things to kind of, worry about at the moment. So I'm kind of waiting for it to finalize, but obviously it is really incredible. Oh, it's an ebony dagger? I actually don't remember. You might be right. I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Is there an eating animation? So not by default, Wooter. Oh, actually, as you mention it, shit, we are out of our fox herb cutlet, so we really need to make it to a town. Either that or cook something up. But there is an option for it in Sunhelm. I almost turned it on. I was thinking about it, and I might still. Maybe at some point you can see play eating, drinking animations. So I'll go ahead and eat our, like a cabbage or something just to see. My issue with it is, oh, did that not work? Oh, what the heck? I gotta say something about, I need to change this too. I've noticed that going in and changing Sunhelm settings is not functioning properly. I think it's got to be something about the way I'm loading the preset or initializing it. In fact, I'm going to write that down on my handy dandy Notepad++. I'm going to say Sunhelm features not activating after the fact. I'm pretty sure that they are functioning in general, but I've noticed this for a couple other ones as well. I'm going to create a save, and just really fast, we're going to set time scale to, say, 4,000. And we want to make sure that our needs... Yep, okay, so they are functioning. So it is on. It's just, it seems to be almost hard-coded to the features that I have set, or the settings that I have set, rather. Load Helgen Keep. Wow, listen to that water. That sure is some water. Where is OBS? There we go. Oh, shit. Try stowing the crossbow. Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's see. Cabbage. No, it does not appear to be playing. I think it's something about the way that I forced initialized Sunhelm. I should be able to go in there and figure it out. Let's get our crossbow back out. Listen to that reverb, baby. Yeah, what? I said I can probably fix it. Right now, I am streaming from the same device I'm playing on, Alan, which is not ideal. Hopefully, I will have a two-computer setup soon. Oh no, they're gonna be spiders. I'm just gonna make a real quick save. Yes, there are spiders. Oh shit, I gotta reload too. I don't like that. Got one. Okay, I'm switching back to mage armor. I'm not used to playing casters, I'll be honest, so please bear with me. Yeah, run, bitch. Thankfully, I have my... Uh-oh. Gross. This sword, and we are a Nightblade, so our blade is pretty good. I missed. It's good to get the experience, though, that's for sure. Zap. They're running. I'm gonna get you. Oh, shit. Okay, that's the real problem. Whoa. These are the real issues. We still need to fix this. Missing texture. Oh, I zapped their magicka. That's pretty good. That actually might not be great, because then they might try and attack me. I don't know if those spit. Okay, here's what I'm going to do. So I can block. I don't really have much in the way of stamina either. This is not good. Yeah, I like that attack. And that one. Okay, yeah, you run away. That's fine. Boy. Whoa, that was a close one. Literally. Oh my god! Yeah, that was what I was afraid of. It's the paralysis. Get back up, please. Please. Oh god! Oh, she missed. Ow. Oh shit, I'm poisoned too. Okay, this is bad. If we can, I'm down to my last few potions. Whoa. That's okay, I still see you. Huh. Okay, we got a block in there. Whoa. There we go. Okay, sweet. Thank God it wasn't a bigger spider. Woo! Hey. So this on the wall, this is a missing texture for the oh, I got turned around. The bear will be really tough. I am actually less concerned about the bear than I am the spiders because of that paralysis. The paralysis is no joke. How am I doing? Chills. Oh, wonderful. Well, I've even got resist disease, and I still got disease. That's not good. What a bummer. Yes, there are. Ragavar. There's actually, I don't think that might not be modded even. It might be vanilla. Okay, now we need some food. Some ale, tomato. It's not great. Am I out of combat? I think it still thinks I'm in combat. Oh, because there's still a spider. There's still 2 spiders. There they go. Oh, kill cam. Oh, how I am not a fan. Yes, there are spells like that. We did it, y'all. So our character, she had not seen anything thus far, but now she just got her first taste of Skyrim. Well, I guess the wolves. That was already kind of a taste, but you got your first taste of what Skyrim wildlife is like. Let's just say they're a bit gnarly. This is kind of my personal explanation for why. So our characters do have backgrounds, right? I like to think that it's like, well, in less harsh environments, maybe they were even like more successful, like as their classes or whatever. However, Skyrim is one of the harshest places in all of Tamriel. So being a fairly well-accomplished Nightblade somewhere else in the continent might not translate as much to survivability here in Skyrim. Stews are, so all of the food mechanics themselves, like the buffs and all that kind of stuff, that is the same as, it's all Requiem. Sunhelm's mechanics are just used for like the needs and things of that sort. So they are not responsible for the actual buffs. Ugh. Ooh, that's pretty good. Value by weight is not amazing, but, you know, here's a chance to potentially use the fragment system, like we explained before. Yes, casters really did. They're, at least in Requiem, they are very powerful. They are, unfortunately, a bit squishy at first. Man, I thought I was going to leave with this cabbage and we'd be alright. We could make some stews, but it doesn't seem that way. I'm going to make a quick save. I'm going to I can't wait here? Why? Oh, that's my horse key. Why can't I wait? Oh, maybe because it's Helgen? There might be some kind of unique property about it. Oh, that's okay. We really just... Uh-oh. There's another spider somewhere. Oh, there. This spider's afraid because... Well, don't go too far over there, mate, because there's a sleeping bear. The spiders are pretty stealthy in the way that they move. Gotcha, Jay. Yeah, okay, this is a... Here's a good chance to, practice our sneaking. This fucking spider. Bud. I'm gonna be fine. Go. Oh god. Are you gonna warn me or are you gonna run after me? Wow, you didn't... You heard me. Didn't you? Oh my god. Oh, he's going after the spider. That's scary. Oh, yep. There it went. Going right back to sleep, maybe? Looks that way. Oh god. Okay, no, it's not worth it. Too scary. Too scary. It's weird I'm not leveling up at all. Get some antlers from those elk skulls. And I think it's time that we escaped. I like to think that our character... What is her name again? Alariel. Let's see. Oh, okay. I'm getting sneak experience. Nice. Whoa, what the fuck was that? You can be a lesser mage to enchanting early game. Come on. Oh, very cool. I like that plot. I love those kind of synergies. I know you do too. Alright, well. Our first successful dungeon crawl. And about the easiest dungeon you could ever hope for. Sort of. I mean, the spiders can be a bit rough. But, you know. Not so bad. We got lucky. We almost died. So, I think Miss Lady here, Alariel, had a very humbling experience. And also still has no clue what the heck happened at that town. It's like a whole town just wiped off the face of the earth. What a day. How about that? I feel completely warm. And it's now time to try and make it to the nearest, what's it called? Nearest town. Grab some mountain flowers on the way, and then we can offload some of the stuff that we've picked up that we don't need. That is true, Tor. Maybe that's what she's, how about she's like, well, because, okay, let's assume that our girl Alariel here is very smart. She is basically a Thalmor agent at this point. So she's well versed in, you know, espionage and military strategy and things of that nature. So she's thinking to herself as she wanders through this forest that it is possible that that town was leveled as part of the ongoing hostilities. However, she does notice that, you know, like, if that's the case, then they must have had some very powerful mages with them, because that was a large amount of damage and a lot of fire and just either that or siege weaponry. And it just seems unlikely that they'd bring siege weaponry for the purpose of a small town like that. It's possible, but she's definitely... Something feels off about it, you know? Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Whoa. And also, that looks bad because there's no... What's it called yet? It's like she's not an alchemist herself. She does know well enough to recognize the value of magical ingredients. And with her highborn blood, she can sense that these flowers, which appear to be native to Skyrim, have latent magical potential. This butterfly as well. I was going to say, well, there we got the higher res LOD, but that's without Dindulod enabled. What about these? The problem with 3D trees is that 3D plants and trees, that is that it makes all the plants look really good, so they all look like they could be harvestable ingredients, and they're not all harvestable, so I forget which ones are which. Oh, and what are these? Might as well continue. The Guardian Stones, eh? Oh, she's read about these weird, mysterious stones that have cultural significance. Use the Mage Stone. As your hand touches the stone, you can feel its powerful and ancient magic in every part of your body. Recall the tales about the mage. Those bearing his blessing are granted pure wisdom and an inherent understanding of magic itself, increasing spellcasting powers greatly. Keep touching the stone. Whoa. How about that? It's like, what is happening there? Interesting. Yeah, I gotta make the harvestables look shit. Or just, how about this? How about make everything harvestable? A little thistle? Oh, someone asked to what graphics card I was using. That was a 3080, right? And also, I have the resolution set to 1440p. So that's what you guys are seeing right now. What is up, Easy? Thank you so much. That's so kind of you to say. I really appreciate it. I'm really hoping, and I know that there's going to be people who, you know, prefer parts of Legendary Edition to the Special Edition version. There's some elements of Legendary Edition that haven't made the cut or are not yet implemented in Special Edition. But I really do hope that you guys will find Special Edition even better, because I personally think it is. I think it is holistically a better experience. What is up this way, over yonder? Yeah, so like Atronach Crossing is a big example of that. Uh-oh. This man does not look particularly friendly. Molna, the way that Requiem works by default, which I might change, I might just kind of unlock all the standing stones because I don't have you choose one as part of character creation. I want people to be able to experiment with them. Especially because this part is not communicated to players, I think. You are not locked to the standing stone you choose, but you are locked to the group of standing stones. So, for example, so we chose the Mage Stone, right? That means we can freely switch between any of the other stones that are classified under the Mage umbrella. But we can't choose stones that are classified as warrior or thief. Oh, some red mountain flowers, eh? Yes, unfortunately, Atronach Crossing is not in Tor because David has not ported his mods, some of his mods over to Special Edition yet. His mods are also very complex, and they rely on custom DLLs that he creates himself, so it's far more complex than your standard kind of port, or than your average port of many other mods. I don't know if he has plans to port them over. I am a huge fan of anything David J. Cobb, so if he does, you can trust that I will be taking a look at them and probably implementing them. Ah. Well, good thing we have a water skin. Let's go ahead and give it 2. And then we can refill at the river over here. What is the refill button? I actually don't remember. Oh. There we go. Oh, here's an animation for you. Got it. Viking, hopefully that answered your question. Yeah, so the alternative tour, yeah, there you go. I can't imagine better timing. The alternative that I will likely be looking at, because I might reach out to David just to see kind of where he's at on it. But as an alternative, I have been considering adding a mod called, it's like LVX Campfire Unleashed, which is basically a build your own stuff anywhere mod, in the same vein. Oh, and what is this first town that first town that she stumbled across that, isn't burned to the ground, we'll say. Her first exposure to Nordic culture. Thank you, Molna. Let's see, what time is it? 1:43. Okay, sorry y'all, let me check my phone real fast just to make sure that my friend's not waiting on me. Okay, sweet. Sunhelm, Monique. Oh, and also, please, if I may, I'm gonna stand up for the remainder of the stream because my back starts to hurt. Oh no. Wait a second. Hold up. I fucked up my settings. Oops. Well, now, okay, let's see what a good... Actually, I've been messing with my desk height, and I accidentally overwrote my old kind of scenario. Oh, there we go. That's perfect. Oh, thank you so much, Asmodean. Yeah, the ENB for water, plus just the standard ENB binaries, it's really amazing. What's up, y'all?
Are you feeling sick?
I am, actually. Now that you mention it.
Next time.
A fellow elf. I really need to go through here one of these days and kind of fix up the paths for the grass. Thank you so much for the follow, Wobble. What's up, bud?
Here for work. Get an axe and bring me all the wood you can chop. Until next time.
Okay. I'm just a traveler, you know. I could use some work. I could use some additional gold. God knows I don't really have much of it now. Who's this guy? Odolph. Sorry, I didn't mean to bother you. What a beautiful little town we found. Everyone's classic.
Say Helgen got hit by a dragon. One of those horrors comes here. We'll be ready.
Whoa! There is the
Right
big reveal for Miss Lady. She's like, what? A dragon? Sick of your shit, Feindal. Like a dragon. It's like, now it's all getting pieced together. She's sitting there going, I knew there was something weird about the damage that I saw. A dragon? What the fuck? That could just be a rumor, though. A dragon? These bumbling Nords don't know what they're talking about.
Out of my way, stranger. Until next time.
Alright. Well, let's see here. Is there a local inn that I can visit? Seems, what was that? The Sleeping Giant Inn. Yeah, I'm a big fan of the cinematic zoom as well, Viking. Yeah, it's like, get out of my way. See ya.
Orgnar.
See you next time.
Orgnar, are you listening?
Hard not to.
The ale is going bad. We need to get a new batch.
Oh, yeah?
Did you hear me?
Oh, yeah, we need to fix this, too. We've got a double,
I guess you
what's
don't
it
have
called?
potatoes in your
A
ears
double
after.
idle marker.
Just make sure we get a fresh batch in soon.
Welcome. Let me know if you want anything. Think I got a clean mug around here somewhere.
I'm still not entirely sold on this version of Delphine's appearance, but I do like it. It's just her hair is like a lot, and for whatever reason, I can't add a hat to her, which is what I usually do in cases where like someone's hair is a bit gnarly. Like I've tried, and it's almost like the game is like hard coded to prevent her from having
I
hats.
still need you to make a batch of those fried potatoes. We can serve them with the ale.
Yep.
Yeah, Or straight up like,
let me guess. You'll get to it later.
Don't I always?
Mom,
I don't
Dad,
suppose I could convince
stop
you to
arguing.
take care of it now, could I?
No.
I should have guessed.
Hello. How you doing?
Need something?
My speechcraft is not great. Lovely weather we're having.
It would seem so.
Hey, got some speech from that. Not bad. Hello.
You're that visitor been poking around.
Yeah, what? Wow, did what's it called? Yeah, I agree with you guys. It's difficult. I need to find like a version of Delphine. Maybe I'll just revert her back to like rough vanilla, right? In fact, let me write that down. Let me go to here. Let's say change Delphine. I don't think she should be super old, but she definitely should be a bit older, I think, than she is here. Yeah, the hair and like her skin, right? Yeah, like her face I think is fine.
I'm the innkeeper. It's my business to keep track
It's a
of
little bit
strangers.
young, but you can see she's got some age on her, right? It's a toss-up for sure. What's up, brother?
We got rooms and food. Drink, too. I cook. Ain't much else to tell.
Heard any rumors lately?
Have you seen that shrine of Azura? They say the Dark Elves built it after they fled from Morrowind. Sight to see.
I have not seen it. Any other rumors? Maybe about dragons, perhaps? She's just gathering information.
Lucan at the Riverwood trader had his store broken into the other night. Oddly enough, barely anything's been stolen.
Also, y'all notice the expressive face gen morphs are so cool for making characters actually look like expressive. Like a full meal, play some blackjack. I'm actually, oh
Need
shit.
a room? Talk to Delphine.
What have you got for sale?
Let's sate that appetite,
Wow, not a lot. That's actually kind of strange. This looks like a Requiem version. Cooked salmon. This is not great. I'm gonna write that down. I'm gonna say Sleeping Giant in Food Fair Limited. It looks like it's Requiem's version of the... oh, you'll buy some of my ingredients though, eh? Well, I'd prefer... So, the way that the economy's gotten a lot more focus in SE, I would say. There's improvements to things like trade and barter and trade routes. So you will get price bonuses if you sell certain things to people that they are like familiar with, right? If you sell to general stores, you're going to get a pretty shitty deal, just because that's obviously how general stores make their money, is they just buy everything, but they put everything at like a pretty high markup, right? So, for example, like this, what's it called? Or Dwarven Shield we picked up. I'm going to go sell that to the blacksmith because he's going to pay us more for it. What's up, Brett?
Faendal thinks he can woo Camilla Valerius away from me. She's already mine, I keep telling him.
I don't care. Is there somewhere I can buy fresh supplies?
Lucan's got a little bit of everything at the Riverwood trader. If you need weapons or armor, see Alvor, the blacksmith.
Gotcha, thank you.
I'd better get going.
Yes, it makes it a lot of fun. That is a good point, Molna. I don't know about there should be some natural ways to get salt. Maybe I'll, in fact, you know what? Let me write. See, this is why I love streaming too. It's like you guys give me such good ideas. Salt mines mod. Ooh, it looks like we're gonna get a beautiful sunset. Let me do this too. I'm going to move my notepad over to this side so that way I don't keep obstructing my chat view. Yeah, Sven is I know I really tried to focus on the character appearances, right, and make them really solid. And just give them that like kind of personalized touch while also keeping them, you know, fitting with the setting and lore friendly and whatever. Hopefully you guys will find that to be the case. I know it's a very subjective thing. What have you got for sale, my friend?
The finest weapons and armor.
Well, may I offload some of my shit on you then? Hey, pretty good. $199? That's like literally a a third of the gold that we had. Half the gold we had. Get some iron fragments. Oh, these don't have value attached to them? What the hell? Or maybe they're just not valuable enough. That's a problem. Okay, that's a big problem. Say, fragment value. Is that the case with, other stuff?
Good day.
Oh, it's getting cold. So he's going to put on some stuff. Say, help. Fragment. Sorry, I'm getting a phone call. Just making sure it wasn't my friend. Fragment for misc. Clear that. We're just going to do a quick test here. 26, 10. And we're going to do 7. We're going to do 8. And let's see if those have value.
Whatever you need, take a look.
Okay. So these have value, but it's like these ones... Why do they have value 0? That's weird. Well, I will have to adjust that. But in any case, go ahead and take my iron ingots and we'll just give ourselves some cash there. When did I pick up a flawless peridot? Whatever, I'll sell it. Hey! Oh, level up! Yo, what a great way to end the stream, too. You can have 2 of the spell research journals. Imperial dagger, I probably want to hold on to that. The woodcutter's axe I want to keep as well. I guess you can have this heavy bow. I don't like heavy bows. I don't have the stamina to be able to use it. So this crossbow is much, much better. And I think, well, you can have the arrows then too. And that'll do it for what I can sell to you. I could definitely sell some stuff to the general store. But, again, a trained Thalmor agent such as Lariel would know that any little podunk general store like this is going to charge her quite a lot. But, hey, maybe she'll pop in. It's getting there, actually, at the time. I'm going to make a quick save. I almost prefer to just kind of wander around in the environment for the few minutes that I have left here because I love this time of day. This is like golden hour. Maybe we can just go say hello to some of the other characters around. What do y'all think? I guess we can go say hello to Lucan and Camilla Valerius. They're characters. You see the way that the sunlight kind of gets crested by the mountain and really feels like it's setting, right? That is all dynamic, volumetric lighting and sun shadows.
Well, one of us has to do
She
something.
might be polite out of
No.
Oh yeah,
No
we're gonna have a
adventures,
dark
no
face bug here,
theatrics,
unfortunately.
No thief chasing.
Well, what
For
are you
him, at
going to
least,
do
not
then,
for her.
huh? Let's hear it.
That's because I was testing some
We are
NPC
done
mods.
talking about this. Oh, a customer. Sorry you had to hear that. Yeah, well, I don't know what you overheard, but
He's
the Riverwood
really
Trader is still open. Feel free to
Oiled up
shop.
like a bodybuilder. Do you sell
I
spells?
think I have a few old spell books laying about. If you want more, you'll have to go to the College of Winterhold.
Like a greased grape? Oh no. Well, I'm not buying shit from you, my friend.
I better get back to cleaning the store. What a mess.
I always thought that was kind of weird. I think there's a mod that fixes this, but when you come in, he's like, oh my god, what a mess the store is in. And I'm like, it doesn't look that bad to me. I don't know. Hello, Miss Lady.
Maybe you could talk some sense into my pig-headed brother.
Oh, yeah? It's like,
Until
the
next time.
infamous Camilla Valerius, who I've heard so much about, even already at this point. Oh, now it's getting dark. Well, alright, y'all. I really do have to run. I apologize for, Oh, the outside is ransacked? Maybe. I think there's supposed to be some stuff in there that's kind of like strewn about, but I don't really know if it actually is that way. Oh yeah, we can level up. Great point. Oh, definitely going to be Magicka. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go health, because we're a bit squishy. We got a perk. What perk do we get? Huh. Probably sneak, but I don't think we can yet. Oh, okay. No, we just need 0. All right. We can do that, or evasion. This is a tough choice. Picking perks is always so hard in Requiem because they matter so much. It's the fun, though. Pickpocket, speech, alchemy, illusion. Illusion would be a pretty good one, though, too. Oh, yeah, here's another change. This is more out of necessity than anything else, but because of the way that the spells work for the sneak over evasion... Yeah, you're probably right, Jay. Because the way that the spell additions work for the character creation, I had to turn off the spell additions for the novice perks. So, like, taking this, for example, would not get us the illusion spells the way that it should. I'm hoping to... Ooh, yeah. I love these. Was it all your life you've been coasting along as if you were in a dream? Suddenly, facing the trials of the last few days, you have come alive. Fuck yeah. That is rad. I need to find a way to basically have both systems in tandem, but that's a bit more complex. So I'm not sure if I'll be able to fix that before the release, but we'll see. Maybe we will. In any case, I'm going to take my sneak perk. This way we have a save before and after if we decide to continue this character, and if we decide we... Oh, no. We want to do a different perk. But all right, y'all. It's about that time. I really appreciate you guys hanging out with me. I hope this was a fun stream. It certainly was for me. Frankly, I had a great time this stream. It's kind of nice just to get to play because obviously, you know, we've been working so hard on just getting everything together, and seeing it all come together in like a semi-cohesive way is just really fun, and it kind of it makes it all worth it, you know, because it's like, hey, this is actually fun to play. I hope you guys will agree. Anyway, I'll go ahead and get this nice sunset shot here through the fog and the haze. And oh, here, let me do this too. I'm gonna say fix bugged weathers, obsidian, except for that. Also dust. There we go. Oh god. Alright, y'all. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and quit out of here. Let's see who is streaming on Twitch right now for a raid. I really, really do appreciate you guys, you know, following the project and joining me for these. Unfortunately, next week I will not be streaming because I'm going to be away from my computer. I'm going to be out of town, so I can guarantee that right now I will not be. However, I will be back the following week, and I've switched to the permanent spot to Thursday because I feel like this works better for my schedule, right? Hopefully it works well for y'all too. And I will be stepping up the amount of streaming that I do once I actually have, you know, a release, and I can go back to doing proper playthroughs and gameplay and things of that sort. So I really do appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Please feel free to contact me if you have any... Oh, no. Double voice. If you have questions or comments or feedback or ideas, it is very easy to reach me on Discord or on Reddit or I guess even on Twitch. But Twitch is harder. I don't usually check my Twitch messages as much. So I would recommend either Discord or Reddit if you have anything for me. All right, y'all. Oh, shit. Well, there it is. Rebel's Eyes. The man himself. Thank you guys, really. It really is incredibly humbling to think that y'all are interested and excited to play. I'm excited to get it out to you ASAP. Some of you, I'm sure, were waiting on like a release date, or I know you're waiting on a release date. I'm sorry I can't give you one yet. We are waiting until the Nexus kind of window. I mentioned this before, right? But the Nexus window is going to close on like August 5th. That'll give us a better just kind of sense of what mods will be finalized and ready to go for the first build. And then there's going to be some work to do at that point. But I would say, I mean, months is a fair estimate. It really just depends. How about this? I promise that it'll, once I know more, I will let you know. I'm just very hesitant to say because there's just a few unknowns, right? Like the big unknown is how long is it going to take to optimize the cities? And I really can't start doing that until we're sure that, you know, all the work is not going to be nullified by someone removing their mods or things of that nature, right? Do you work on the subsequent builds immediately after the first release, or do you let the initial release marinate? Well, so I'll probably be doing stuff for the subsequent builds, but I've been working on this for about, you know, a year and 8 months at this point, so I might take a bit of a break once we're sure that the first release has landed and all the major problems with it have been worked out, once people are able to play and that sort of thing. But yeah, I mean, pretty much when it drops, I will be working on the next versions very shortly thereafter, and I will also be... when it drops, it's going to be kind of crazy because I will be streaming a bit more, just playing the game and things like that. I will be, contacting the streamers and the content creators who I know are waiting for the first version to drop, and just kind of seeing what we can do from a marketing standpoint. At some point, I need to put together the new intro video to replace the old intro video, which is obviously several years out of date at this point. So there's going to be stuff to do. I'm not quite sure how I'm going to do it, but rest assured that to me, the release of the first SE version is basically the starting line. You know what I mean? Like, I have so many things that I want to add and fun ideas, and I know the team has been waiting to like get their hands on like a playable version so they can start bug fixing and adding stuff themselves. So it really is like the initial release is what you might call early access of sorts. I think it's going to be a pretty well put together experience, but there are going to be bugs, and we're going to be ironing out that stuff. We're going to be adding additional features, just really pushing the limit on what the experience can be. So please look forward to it. I certainly am. I cannot give you a time or a release date yet, but I promise that as soon as I'm confident that we can hit a release date, I will let you guys know. And I really, really appreciate y'all hanging out and just showing your support to the project. I never in a million years thought that this would blow up to where it is, and it's just very humbling, and I'm very grateful. With that said, speaking of someone else who deserves our time and attention, who is an incredibly hard worker and very talented, humble person, the creator of Skyblivion, Rebel's Eyes. We're going to go ahead and give him a raid. I figure many of you guys will also be Oblivion fans. Rebel's Eyes is his username. Kyle is his real name. I'm just here for the Mass Effect streams. Hell yeah. You and 5 other viewers, 10 other viewers. That was fun, though. I did have a good time. Yeah, so Rebel's Eyes is a real excellent content creator. I'm personally very much looking forward to Skyblivion. I don't know if he's doing dev work right now or if sometimes he just plays Skyrim. I guess we'll see in a moment. But definitely give him a follow if possible. Anyway, y'all, I will see you in 2 weeks. Thank you again for joining me. I really do appreciate it. And again, feel free to reach out if you got feedback, comments, whatever else. Please stay safe. I hope you have a wonderful weekend and weeks and etc. 2 weekends. And I will see you next time, y'all. Goodbye.
Pretty sore, bro.